Hello everyone, this is Anna. Welcome to Anne's BookTube, Refuge for Bibliophiles. In this video, I am going to share with you how to master the art of reading Jane Austen's novels. So Jane Austen was a classical English literature writer of the Regency era. She has written about 6 books, her 6 books being The Pride and Prejudice, Mansfield Park, Sense and Sensibility, Emma, Northanger Abbey, and Persuasion. So Jane Austen's writing are beautiful not just in terms of prose but also in terms of context. So Jane Austen's writing style is a bit complex in nature, which makes it difficult for beginners to understand her works. But that doesn't mean that one cannot master the art of learning the way to read Jane Austen's books. Now, this is the very secret that I am going to share with you. The secret to reading Jane Austen's literature is to pick up a Jane Austen novel, such as Pride and Prejudice. So I would recommend that you pick up Pride and Prejudice because it is the most famous of all Jane Austen's works. Now, you need not have a physical copy of the book. What you can do is you can check it out on Kindle or Google Play and read the first few chapters of the book. The first few chapters of a book in Kindle or in Google Play is usually available for free for readers to check out, and you can read the first few chapters of the book from Google Play or Kindle. And if you find it difficult to understand the work, then you need to do the following. The following thing that you need to do is you should watch the movie Pride and Prejudice, in which the protagonist's character has been played by Keira Knightley. That particular novel, movie aired around 2005, and it is an absolute delight for viewers to watch that movie. So after having watched the movie, you will be somewhat familiar with the storyline and you will be in a better position to understand the book. So after having watched the movie and having understood the plot line, you should pick the book once again and see if you are able to understand it or not. So chances are that you may still not be able to understand the book. So now what you need to do is you need to pick up an abridged novel of Pride and Prejudice written by some other author in an easier manner. So after you go through the abridged version, you will have some idea about the plot line of the movie. So a plot line of the book. So after having read the abridged version, come back to the original version by Jane Austen and give it a read. So if you are able to understand the book, then well and good, you are good to go. If not, keep reading the book, and I feel that until you after you reach the middle of the book, you will be able to understand her writing style, for you have already put so much effort into understanding this particular book. So after having read Pride and Prejudice, if you feel that you are still not comfortable with understanding her novels, I would suggest that you pick up Emma. So Emma, I consider Emma as the easiest Jane Austen novel, and Emma revolves around the life of a girl called Emma, who belongs to a parish owner's, who is a parish owner's daughter, and it appears that her sole objective in her life is to groom someone, who she considers not fit for society into someone who has a great taste for reading, and who's basically someone whose mind is cultivated as cultivated as hers. So the story revolves around the life of this girl called Emma, and this is the most easy book by Jane Austen to read. Now, the thing with Jane Austen's novels is that the first chapter of the book is usually the most difficult to read. So, after you understand the first chapter, let's say by some auxiliary literature such as Spark Notes, if you are able to understand the first chapter of the book, the rest of reading the rest of the chapters would be somewhat easy. So this is how you should begin reading a Pride and Prejudice, reading a Jane Austen novel. Now, after you have read Emma, I would recommend that you read Mansfield Park, because in my opinion, Mansfield Park is the second most easy book to read after Emma. So Mansfield Park is about a girl named Fanny Price, who is not from a well-to-do family, but her aunt and uncle are from a well-to-do family. They take mercy upon her and they decide to give her an education. During her stay at her aunt's and uncle's house, she falls in love with her cousin, and the story goes from then onwards. So Mansfield Park is one of the most easy books and most interesting and books by Jane Austen. After having read Mansfield Park, I would recommend you to read Sense and Sensibility. So Sense and Sensibility is a difficult book to read, but it is a very enjoyable book. So Sense and Sensibility revolves around the life of two sisters, Eleanor and Marianne. Eleanor is a very calm, level-headed person who takes decisions after a lot of consideration, and Marianne, on the other hand, is very expressive, and she and the two sisters have opposite characters as compared to the other. So the story of Sense and Sensibility revolves around these two characters, Eleanor and Marianne, and it is a very beautiful read. I would recommend you to check the book out. After you have read Sense and Sensibility, I would recommend that you read Persuasion. Persuasion is the most difficult book by Jane Austen and the most beautiful one. So I would recommend you to read Persuasion only after you have gone through 3-4 Jane Austen's novels previously, and then only I would recommend you to pick up the book Persuasion. Now, the book Northanger Abbey, it is not that much interesting, but after having read Jane Austen's novels, you would find yourself craving for more Jane Austen novels. So Northanger Abbey is a pleasant read, but not as good as other Jane Austen novels. So this is how you should read Jane Austen's novels. Now I would show you my copy of Jane Austen's Lady Susan, Watson and Sanditon. It is an absolutely beautiful book, and I have already read Lady Susan, and Lady Susan is an absolutely beautiful novel. So now what is the right age to read Jane Austen's book? I feel that the right age to read Jane Austen's book is your mid-20s, because mid-20s is the time you have been through many ups and downs in life, and the emotions that are portrayed in this book can be understood only when you have reached a certain level of maturity. So I feel that one should start reading Jane Austen's novels when they are 25, and till 30 they should spend their life reading reading all the 6 Jane Austen's novels and some other novellas, because if you read Jane Austen's novels, I can assure you that you would find them one of the most beautiful things you have ever come across. So this was all about the way how you can understand Jane Austen's novels. Now, if you have read all the Jane Austen's novels, you would want to explore writers like Jane Austen. So I would recommend that you can check out this book, Mrs. Osborne by John Banville. This is a very beautiful book, and the writing style is similar to that of Jane Austen's. And yeah, I have read about 25% of the book and I already love it very much. And another book that I would recommend is Cranford by Elizabeth Gaskell. This is a very beautiful novel, and I would highly recommend this book. So this was all about my tips on how you can read and understand a Jane Austen novel if you are a beginner. I hope that you would like Jane Austen's novels as much as I do, and till then I would wish you a happy reading. I would keep on posting more book related videos. In case you like my videos, please consider subscribing to my channel, as it means a lot to me. Thank you.